Buenos días, buenas tardes o buenas noches, clase. Esto es la gramática de la segunda parte del capítulo 1 y la lección se llama el imperfecto. Primero que nada, expresiones como generalmente, a menudo, muchas veces, todos los días, siempre y nunca indican el uso del imperfecto. So, when you're trying to determine whether something is preterite or imperfect, look for phrases like these that indicate habit or indicate that things are happening over and over and over again. Generally, often, many times, every day, always, or never. So look for these and other words that indicate that something is habitually happening in the imperfect. We use the imperfect tense to talk about actions that happened regularly in the past. So in English, the translation would probably be something like used to verb or I would verb. Like every day I would walk to the bus stop, I used to eat crayons when I was a kid, etc. Unos ejemplos. Todos los meses mi escuela organizaba una carrera. Every month, my school used to organize a race, or would organize a race. Nuestro equipo nunca perdía. Our team never lost, never used to lose, never would lose, etc. Right, now let's talk about conjugation. The imperfect tense is pretty easy because there's no stem changes. So here's an example of an AR verb, and all AR verbs in the imperfect tense are going to work like this. Estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, don't forget the accent, estabais, estaban. So any verb that ends in AR, when you conjugate it in the imperfect, will work like this. For example, hablar would be hablaba, hablabas, hablaba, hablábamos, hablaban, or hablabais y hablaban. For ER verbs, these are the endings. And here's tener as an example. Tenía, tenías, tenía, teníamos, teníais, tenían. All of the ER verbs are going to work like this in the imperfect tense. So for example, if I was conjugating correr, it would be corría, corrías, corría, corríamos, corríais, corrían. For IR verbs, they are the same endings as ER verbs. Yay! One less thing to memorize. So here's vivir as an example. Vivía, vivías, vivía, vivíamos, vivíais, vivían. And all IR verbs are going to work like this with these endings. So for example, escribir would be escribía, escribías, escribía, escribíamos, escribíais, escribían. In the ER and the IR, please note that there's accents on all the forms over the letter I. Otro ejemplo, quería participar en el campeonato, pero no me sentía bien. I wanted to participate in the championship, but I didn't feel well. So those are descriptions in the past, imperfect tense. Now, in the imperfect tense, the great thing about this tense is there are only 3 irregulars in the entire tense. Woohoo! And those are ir, ser, and ver. So, if the verb is ir, ser, or ver, you need to memorize them. Any other verbs, you just follow these 2 patterns. This pattern for AR and this pattern for ER and IR, same thing. Ir, ser, and ver you must memorize. Ir is iba, ibas, iba, íbamos con el acento, ibais, iban. Remember, ir means to go. Ser, era, eras, era, éramos con el acento, erais, eran. Ser means to be. Y finalmente, ver, to see, veía, veías, veía, veíamos, veíais, veían. On ver, all of the I's have the accent on it. And lastly, the last one that you're going to need to memorize for the form in the imperfect is haber in the imperfect. Haber in the present tense is I, and in the imperfect tense it's había con acento, which means there was, or there were, or there used to be. Por ejemplo, generalmente no había muchos participantes en el campeonato. Generally, there weren't many participants in the championship. So that is the imperfect tense. Let me know if you have any questions. Hasta pronto!